Hello and welcome back to Live with Florida Millennial. That's what we're calling the show right now. We don't have a name yet. I know it's a disgrace. We don't have a name for the show. We're waiting for it to really blow up before we get a name. No. I promise we're going to have a name. It's important to have a name because people need to know what the show is when it pops up. But for now, Live with Florida Millennial will do. Welcome to the program. If you haven't watched, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Please follow me if you're watching on X, Florida Millennial. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe by clicking the icon in the bottom right-hand corner. Not a lot going on today. Mind you, there is a lot going on in the Middle East. I think I might talk about a little bit about that tonight. And like I say to you every night, I know, you're probably tired of hearing about Trump, Kamala. And to an extent, I am a little bit tired of talking about polling and the election, but we're in an election season. So that's what we're going to do. So I will touch on polling because there is a huge Quinnipiac poll out today that shows Trump in the lead nationally. Now, this poll had Harris up by 1 the last time they ran the poll, which was August 27th, I believe. So not a huge shift, but Quinnipiac is a poll where you might not typically think Trump would be leading. So we'll take a look at the crosstabs on it. Interesting stuff and a lot to talk about actually by just looking at the crosstabs because I think I've been a little bit critical of the messaging and what kind of voters the campaign is going after. I think they need to be a little more focused on white voters, white working class. But look, I'm not going to sit here and judge from the peanut gallery. I think Trump's doing a good job. Honestly, he's really doing all he can do. It's like, what more can we ask of the man, right? It's like, what am I going to do? Sit here and say he's not doing this and that right when he's out there dodging flying objects? I don't even want to say the word. I don't want to say anything like that in case I get censored. There's all these words they don't like you using on here. I don't know. It's like, and words that aren't even like offensive or anything. It's just there's certain words they don't like. Like there's that A word they don't like to use. So I'm careful. I think bullet is fine though, right? Bullet, dodging bullets. I can say that, can't I? Point is, Trump is carrying more than enough, like more than his weight in all this. So it's really his campaign managers who I think who I've been critical of. So, but now you see that they have him in these different settings. Now they have him going into grocery stores. They're trying to get him out there and humanize him, is what they're doing. And who knows if that's working or not. I don't know about you, but I'm really tired of hearing people say that, well, I don't like the man, but I like the policy. It's like what everyone says now. It's like what people say when they're afraid to say they like Trump or something. I don't know. So anyway, and I want as well tonight to read some of your comments. I always say if you comment on one of my posts, I will reply and I will read it. And it's been a while since I've gone through the comments. I got to say, I get lots of likes, but I get tons of negative comments. So I guess what happens is people who like the content, they just like the video. They watch the video, they like it, and then when they're done, they move on. But the people who don't like it, they just comment like angry commenting. I'm saying this like I'm a boomer who's using YouTube for the first time. I mean, I've had a YouTube channel for a long time now, so you'd think I would be used to that. But I think what happens is, and by the way, I'm grateful for all the views. I'm grateful for negative comments too because it boosts the engagement. It's all good. But I think what happens is when I put Kamala or talk about Kamala in my posts, or my streams, the algorithm sends it to all these liberal people and women and whatever, and they just go to town. And then the Taylor Swift one, oh my gosh, like it's almost like they were waiting in the weeds, ready at their keyboards to defend her. So she's got an army out there, Taylor's army, I'm telling you. But I don't know if you saw the poll that came out. They did a poll, and it turns out that Trump is actually more popular than Taylor Swift. Who would have known? Who would have thought? Mind you, this is among voters. So we're leaving out a lot of the young female fanatics who love her, who don't vote. So, but I don't know about you, but I was surprised to see that. Mind you, you remember the post I'm talking about was when I was saying how men are tired of hearing about Taylor Swift. And, there's all these Republican consultants and Republican, whatever you want to call them. I don't even want to call them rhinos because a lot of them like Trump. They go, well, we like him. We just wish he wouldn't say stupid stuff like this. They were like in a whole panic. It was like, what was like a Saturday morning, like 2 weekends ago, 3 weekends ago. They're all in a complete panic because Trump tweeted badly about Taylor Swift. They thought they were going to lose every single woman in America was going to vote against Trump now that he said he didn't like Taylor Swift. But so anyway, I'm getting a lot of critical comments, but I don't mind that. Honestly, I like it. And I've said before, I reply, thank you for your support to all of them. And a lot of them don't really know what to make of that. They don't really know what to say when I say thank you for your support. So that's a little weird. One thing I wanted to show you, because tonight is kind of a slow news night, not a lot going on, or at least nothing that I haven't covered last night. I wanted to show you has anyone gone on the Drudge Report lately? I'll go to the crosstabs in a second. I've got it up here, the Quinnipiac poll. But I used to go to Drudge Report all the time. Like that's where I would go every day to get my news and see what's going on. S. Russell, doing well. Thank you for joining. So I would go to Drudge Report all the time to try and figure out what was going on. And if I was doing shows too back then or whatever, I would get topic ideas from there. Drudge was always a pretty, I don't know, I would say it's a conservative site. Drudge, of course, made a name for himself breaking the Monica Lewinsky story. So I don't really think it was so biased. Like you wouldn't go on there and everything was ideological, but it definitely had a tilt. You definitely find stories on Drudge that you wouldn't find anywhere else. And this was probably, I started going on Drudge Report probably 2008, 2007, and all the way through to 2016. But recently, and I know that Drudge has been sold, and I'm not sure the details on it, but recently, Drudge is just, I'm going to show you. I went there just to see what's going on. I haven't been on Drudge Report in a little while. And of course, they're tracking the storm that's coming here to Florida. We're all bracing ourselves. Mind you, it's probably not going to hit where I am. I'm down in South Florida. This is looking like it's going to hit like maybe Tampa and then on its way up to Tallahassee. It looks like a pretty bad one, though. I'm looking at it here, and it's like, yikes. They're saying Category 3 by the time it gets to Tallahassee. I don't know. Maybe I should turn this channel into like a storm tracker channel or something. There's this one guy. I know I'm going on all different tangents here, but there's this one guy who I used to follow, and that's like all he did. He would be on Facebook live streaming, and he would just be talking about storms. I'm not even talking about hurricanes. He would just be there talking about storms. Like, here's where the storm's headed. You should expect hail in this area. Guy's got like, I don't know, like 50,000 people watching him. Talking about storms. We're talking storms. We're talking practice. Okay, so let's look at Drudge Report. Like, I was just amazed. I know that Drudge isn't what it used to be, but let's just look at some of the offerings on here. So we got some stuff up here about Israel and Lebanon and Hezbollah. We got the hurricane here. And then we got Harris campaign office damaged by gunfire in Arizona. Probably stray bullets from migrants shooting. No, I'm kidding. They forecasted the Republicans to win the Senate already, it looks like. Romney to leave country if Trump is elected. Okay, that's one headline. Jack Smith set to present detailed January 6th evidence developing. Wow, we're waiting on bated breath for January 6th evidence. Heritage president, Project 2025 mastermind, allegedly told colleagues he killed dog with shovel. Okay. What else do we have here? Anything else? Something about Ellen. Something about Ozempic. So, I mean, even the stories suck that are on here. There isn't even anything on here. Look, this is it. That's the end of it. There's no more stories. You used to be able to scroll down almost all the way down and they'd be full of stories. Now it's just a couple liberal hit pieces and that's it. Romney to leave country if elected. I kind of want to open this. It's a slow news night, guys. I'm sorry. We're just gonna chill, open a few articles, read them, see what's going on. I'll read your comments. Okay, you know what? Wait, we'll do the poll first. We'll do the poll. Okay. I know people want to see the Quinnipiac poll. What about the poo suicide? Oh, I shouldn't say that word either. See, this is honestly what I need here is a little. I need a little, like maybe a bulletin board or something here. Something where I can see all the words. Maybe I'll have my laptop open on the right, like sometimes I do here, and I'll put all the words I can't say on YouTube. I didn't see that story. Let me go back. Well, now you've intrigued me by that. Wait a second. Did I close it though? Oh no, it went to the Romney thing, right? Okay, 1 second. Where is it? Why am I not seeing it? I don't see it. This is like when I'm staring at the fridge looking for the water and like I'm staring straight at it. Anyways. Oh, that says pod. Never mind. Wow, you got me all hyped up about a poo. A poo. I'm not going to say the word. A poo unalived. That's what they say now, right? Unalived. Okay. Well, thanks for that, S. Russell, dragging me over for that. Yeah, let's read the Romney story. I just want to. Oh no, right. Okay, my brain is so scattered right now. Okay, we're going to go and we're going to look at the Quinnipiac poll first because I think this is interesting. Okay, let's take a look at the Quinnipiac poll. Once again, I don't know if we should really get too hyped up over this because remember, and it shows you right here, that Trump was only trailing by 1 the last time they took this poll. So, not a huge shift. But what I'm more interested in is the crosstabs. And for you polling amateurs out there, crosstabs are basically going through the breakdown of the polling men, women, into age, race, all that kind of thing. So, demographics, seeing where the trends are. So, let's take a look at it. 48-47 for Trump. Both of them get pretty much all or the same amount of their respective party support. So Harris gets 94, Trump gets 93. I've always been stunned by that number because we hear about how many never Trumpers there are. Like all we hear about is from never Trumpers. Like you'd think the Lincoln Project was like half the Republican Party. It's really not. Look, 6%. So independents, 47-44 for Trump. That's good. Men 54-40 for Trump, good. Women 53-41 for Kamala, horrible for Trump. Okay, so 18-34, 48 Harris, Trump 45. That's a really good number for Trump. Like if that number is true, then wait, I need to move this, move myself down. If that number is true, that would probably be the best the Republican has performed with young voters since like Reagan, probably. 35-49, 50-47 for Trump, 50-64. Now here is a huge story. They're burying the lead here on this poll when I look at the crosstabs. And this is something that Ryan Grudusky has talked about, and he said, "Hey, no, look, they're oversampling, they're getting it wrong." I mean, everything is kind of flipped here. Okay, so Harris 48-45 with 18-34. From age 35 to 49, 50-47 for Trump. Okay, you'd figure, yeah, seems about right. 50-64, 48-47 for Trump. Also seems about right. 65 plus, 52% for Harris, 44% for Trump. Now, anyone who has been paying attention to politics in the last, 20 years knows that Republicans always do best with 65 plus. It's just the way it is. McCain, Romney, Trump, doesn't matter who the nominee is, doesn't matter who they're running against. That's always the way. Now, of course, I understand things change. But right now, Kamala has a, 7-point lead with 65 plus. Now, here's my question. Do you think that number is correct? Because I actually do think, and it might not be that much of a gap, but I think something is going on here. And I've talked about this before, how boomers, I mean, think about it. Let's think about it for a second, too. I mean, boomers still watch mainstream news. Many of them do not know there are people doing what I'm doing here right now. I mean, my parents know I'm doing it, but I would hazard to guess most of the people who watch, and I'm still building an audience, so you know that. Most of the people who watch me and watch and subscribe to me and watch channels like mine are not 65 plus. There are some. And it is my belief that there are many boomers, forgive me for using the term, but baby boomers, 65 plus, who do not like Trump because they don't like his personality, but also they've bought into the January 6th myth because all they watch is CBS, ABC, CNN, NBC, PBS. This is what they watch. This is their news source. So you could argue that age 65 plus, they're the most propagandized group in the entire country. Like if every other age group has woken up and figured out, like the media isn't telling the truth and the news isn't real, well, boomers, a lot of them have not. And look, I hear this all the time. And you heard me complain about hearing people say, well, I don't really like Trump the person, but I like Trump's policies. And I'm telling you, that just drives me up the wall now. It's not that I don't understand it, and it's not that I don't whatever. But the reason why it ticks me off is because it's become the NPC thing to say. It's like, when you hear something for the first time, you're like, yeah, okay, that's an interesting point. But when you hear something for the 5,128th time, you start to think, okay, you're not saying that because you think that. You're saying that because everyone else is saying that. And now you think that's like the appropriate thing to say, right? Or like there will be people, I guarantee you, there will be people who actually do like Trump and his personality. They like his bravado, they like that he's unfiltered. But when asked, they will say, "Oh yeah, I really don't like him that much, but I like what he did as president." They do that because it gives them cover. They can admit to you that they want Trump to win without having to defend themselves too much for supporting him. So it's when people say that they're hedging their bets, they're not hedging their bets, they're hedging the conversation, making sure it doesn't go to a place they don't want it to go. But anyways, I do think there are a lot of boomers who buy into January 6th stuff. Boomers are probably more likely to have a reverence for the federal government. And who can blame them? I mean, they grew up in a time when there was something to be revered there. And some of you may know my favorite TV show ever is The West Wing. I've watched The West Wing, and it's a liberal show. No doubt it's a liberal show. But it's sort of like it brings you back to a time when the government was actually not like wasting money, corrupt, and full of radicals on left and right. Just a more idealistic time. And I don't really know how we got to where we got to, but we got there. So we're not in that time anymore. So we have to run people who understand the political environment we're in. But I think many boomers, to get back to the point, they have such a reverence for the government that when they hear Trump railing against the establishment, they see January 6th, and then they see his style. Stylistically, they don't like him because boomers are of a time when like no one brags and no one talks about money, and like politicians are, like Mitt Romney was the perfect boomer candidate because he was just like stiff, and I'm Mitt Romney, and I respect President Obama, but I just think he's wrong. That's the kind of style they like. So that number doesn't surprise me, but Ryan Grodowski is going to tell you that no, this number's wrong. There's no way that Trump is losing 65 plus by 7 points. Because if this number is wrong and Trump's actually tied with 65 plus, well, this poll might as well be 55% for Trump, or 52 or 53, because that would be big if that were the case. But anyway, it's just interesting that this keeps showing up. And I keep saying that one of the big stories of this election, no matter who wins, is going to be that young men are now voting Republican in huge numbers, mostly because of Trump, for other reasons too, but mostly because of Trump. And young men and young people in general have a much higher rate of support for Trump than people know. Like, for example, I watched a clip or a video on TikTok, and they were interviewing people on a major university campus in Florida. And it was all like 19, 20, 21-year-olds, and all of them were in support of Trump. Now, if you went to somewhere in the same area and just asked people 65 plus, you're going to get a real different mix. And what you were getting from the young people when they were asking them, under 30, under 25, was an full-throated support of Trump. Like, yeah, he's the man. We love him. We love Donald Trump. There was no, well, we don't like him. We don't like the way he tweets. There was none of that. But you keep getting that from the older crowd. So, and which is interesting because Trump himself is a boomer. You'd think there'd be some sort of connection there, but there isn't. And I must tell you, it's shocking because being someone who's kind of on the conservative side, center right, I guess, whatever. I guess I would call myself that, but people think I'm extreme. I don't think I'm extreme. But My whole life, I've always felt that having the opinions I have been I've been met with great hostility, especially with young people. I mean, young people are just more liberal, and when you tell them your views, they tend to freak out more. Well, since Trump has been president, it's actually the opposite. I find that the young people who hate him, who are like friends of mine, it's more like a big joke to them. It's kind of like, oh yeah, whatever, Trump. But then you talk to boomers about Trump, and they legitimately freak out. Like, I have had no joke, and I sound like Biden here, no joke. I have literally spoken to boomers about Trump, and this is, I don't think this has ever happened with someone under 30, but example, probably multiple, but one example in my mind where I have been speaking to someone over the age of 65 about Donald Trump, about former President Trump, future President Trump, and they, and I'm not joking, I'm not exaggerating, they looked like they were having a mental breakdown. Like, you hear the phrase literally shaking, they were literally shaking, and they looked like they couldn't take it. They looked like their brain was about to explode. So, there's something with the boomers, the ones who don't like him really, really don't like him. And I have not had the same reaction from people under 30, even ones who don't like him. I never get that reaction. From 65 plus, though, I do get that reaction, and I don't know what to make of that. I don't know why that is. I really have no idea. But when I see this polling, it actually, I'm not surprised by it. I'm really not that surprised by it when it comes to the 65 plus number. But it is something to note. It is an interesting shift. I mean, for Trump to be trailing by only 3 points in 18 to 34, basically tied within the margin of error in young people. A Republican candidate for president has not polled that well with young people since like 1984. White men, 57-39 for Trump. Fantastic number. White women, 52-45 for Harris. He needs to try and get that up a little bit, but it's not horrible. What is this? White overall, 50-46. African American, 83-10. Trump's got to stop chasing that vote. I mean, fine, he's going after the young men, African Americans, fine, but you're not. I mean, just forget about it. Hispanics, 52-44 for Trump. Huge, huge. And being in a very Hispanic area, let me tell you that I do not doubt that at all. And there were people talking about how Trump could win Miami-Dade. I'm telling you, he's going to win Miami-Dade. Just trust me on this one. Trust me. And if he doesn't, he'll be 50-50 or 51-49. It'll be really close. So anyway, there you go. There's the Quinnipiac poll. That's it. That's a good one for him. I mean, he's had two pretty good days of polling. As you see here, they're bringing him to the grocery store. So anyway, I wanted to go over that. And oh yeah, we were going to read the Mitt Romney thing, right? Well, I mean, why not? There's nothing. Forgive me for just freewheeling it tonight, but there's no real breaking news. I could talk about the Hezbollah thing. I think it's just a little bit too intense for me. I've had a long day. We might talk about that tomorrow night. Romney to leave the country. Mitt Romney braces for Trump's retribution. It's so crazy, how much things have changed. Like the fact that Mitt Romney is now like such a rhino and such a hater. to think back, to think of all the things I did for you, Mitt. If you were to talk to my college roommates, let me bring you, since we're having a freewheel stream tonight, we're not really covering many serious topics tonight. Let me give you a little story time. A little story time with Florida Millennial, shall we? Since we're talking about Mitt Romney. The year was 2012, my second year of college, undergrad. And I was not like someone who loved Mitt Romney or anything, but look, Romney got the nomination against Obama. And back then we were all like Ben Shapiro type conservatives. Like I was a libertarian. I guess you could have called me a libertarian back then. I am not now, but and it was Romney versus Obama. And the undergrad college I was at, they asked me to write a defense of Mitt Romney. They had someone writing one for Obama, some nerd, some liberal nerd. No, I'm kidding. Writing the defense of Obama. And then they made me write the Romney one. This was days after Romney said he's writing off 47% of the population. It was his deplorable moment. I should have known it back then. So I wrote this Romney, and like I would defend him in any conversation and say he's the best candidate for president. Back then it was about like low taxes and deregulation. And remember Romney said Russia is the biggest geopolitical foe of the United States. And then Obama told him on national TV during a debate, the 1980s wants its foreign policy back. Wow. Why? Boy, have we done a 180 or what? Unreal. Honestly, if it were Obama versus Romney now, I mean, I'd probably support Romney, but there's just nothing there that I would really feel compelled to support. I mean, there was nothing on immigration policy back then. There was the whole campaign was about the economy. It was boring. It was like, as I say, it was like Romney wants to lower the corporate tax rate. It was all about economic growth. Obama was like way more populist. Obama was anti-NAFTA. People forget that. Mind you, he kind of did a switcheroo once he got in there, but that's beside the point. Obama was populist. Obama was like anti-war. He didn't want the United States getting involved in other places. Mind you, he ended up doing that. But that's how he ran, at least. So really, for me to like go gung-ho for Romney now seems unthinkable. I can't say that I would be like in full support of Obama though, because there were aspects of that ticked me off. Just how everyone loved him for no reason. It's like it was just like, well, you're cool if you support Obama, and you're a dork if you support Romney. So, but anyway, you can ask my college roommates. Maybe I'll bring one of them on the stream to talk about how much of a supporter of Romney I was. And I wasn't. Now I sound like one of those people talking about Trump. Well, I don't like the man, but I like the policies. But I guess that was kind of me. But to think of how he has betrayed us is just sickening, honestly. I'm so glad he lost that election. So glad. Can you imagine how catastrophic it would be if he had have won that election? If he had to beat Obama in 2012, he would have won that election, and then he probably would have ran for re-election in 2016 and won, and we would never have had Trump. We would never have had this epic 8 years of politics. It would have been boring. It would have been like Mitt Romney versus Hillary Clinton in 2016, Hillary probably would have won, actually. So, yeah, we'd probably have Hillary, and then Hillary would have won for re-election. She would have been president right now. We would have had President Hillary Clinton if Mitt Romney had won. Thank God he didn't. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who voted for Obama in 2012. God bless you all. Thank you. You saved us from the utter catastrophe that would have been. Romney was a terrible candidate. It's just so crazy how we didn't see it. Obama was cool. Obama was like, he was slick. He was cool. He used to run up the stairs, not like Biden, who tries to run up the stairs. He would run up the stairs in Air Force One. Good campaigner, good speaker, charismatic, total leadership qualities, all of it. No, I'm kind of kidding about that. I'm kind of exaggerating, but like, it's just funny how in hindsight you look back and you're like, wow, really? We wanted Mitt Romney for president? Like wearing his mom jeans. The only redeemable quality about Romney is that he's Mormon. I like that. I like that he's like really socially conservative. I like that he's a very like devout man. That's cool. That's good. That's good stuff. I like that. I wish he was like totally Christian and not Mormon. I don't really know much about Mormonism, but I guess it's better than like being an atheist or something. But you look back at that too, and I know now I'm on like a complete and total tangent, but you look back at that and you think, did we really think that like he was going to win? How? He was a Mormon. First of all, he's a Mormon. Many people probably didn't vote for him for that reason. So there's one. He was like a total corporate shill. He was at Bain Capital. He was an internationalist, and he still is. So, and people will use this as like a talking point. They'll be like, how can you vote for Trump? Even his own party doesn't like him. Mitt Romney won't support him. It's like, have you not been paying attention for the last 8 years of what's been going on? Like, seriously. But it really just pains me that I put myself through so much backlash and I don't mind that. Whatever, it's fun. I like the confrontation. I like the clash. But to think I put myself out on a limb for Mitt Romney, seriously, and now this is how he pays us back. We're trying to save the country here, and he's like, does he say he's going to leave? I guess we should read the article first and find out. But man, I totally disavow my support of Romney. I got to be really thankful he lost. Very thankful. The more I think about it and the more I just like think it through now too, like I just said that Hillary could have been president, total victory. Total victory. Election night 2012, I was all bummed out. I remember sitting with my roomies at a bar, and because it was Tuesday night, they had bingo night there. Tuesday night was like bingo. You won like a sex toy or something I don't know, I can't remember. But we were just there, and I'm like, this sucks. Obama's reelected. Country's going to be destroyed. Little did I know, actually no, this was the best thing that could have possibly happened. I should have been celebrating. If you transported me back to that night in 2012, I would have been like ecstatic. I would have been like on top of the table. Back when I used to drink all the time, I would have been like ordering shots and been like, yeah, Obama, woo, Obama. Down goes Romney. Obama for 4 more years. And then because Obama for 4 more years, then we're going to get Trump. But instead, I was just in a bad mood. Like, why? This is a great lesson, actually, for everyone. Whenever you think things are going wrong, no, God has a plan. He knows what's going on. Don't get down in the dumps about it. You know, as that song that Trump used to play all the time. Remember? You can't always get what you want, but in the end, you get what you need. And boy, we needed an Obama win that night. Little did we know. Instead, we would have had President Romney. We would have had corporate tax cuts and deregulation. We would have probably been at war with Russia way back then, because Romney was a total hawk on that stuff. So thank goodness. Thank goodness Obama won that night. Thank you to all those people who voted for Obama. Anyway, okay. Let's read the article. Jeez, I have to reel myself in. I thought I wouldn't even be able to talk tonight because nothing was going on. Okay. On a swampy afternoon this past spring, I met Mitt Romney in his soon-to-be vacated Senate office. It was strange to see him in person again. Can you guys see this? It was strange to see him in person again. For 2 years, we talked almost every week as I worked on a biography that would cement his reputation as a Republican apostate. Since the book's publication last year, we'd kept in sporadic touch, mostly through text, the senator's preferred medium for venting about politics. Or he goes on X as Pierre, what was his name? Pierre Delecto or something? But we hadn't spoken much in depth. Some things hadn't changed. Romney was, as ever, acutely attuned to his own mortality. I saw an article this morning saying that they find your chances of getting Alzheimer's are significantly increased based upon two things, he told me as soon as we sat down. One factor was alcohol consumption. The other was stress at work. The latter had him worried. Romney is a teetotaler, but has been addicted his whole life to stressful jobs. Yeah, that is a good thing. He doesn't drink. I like that. I mean, I've felt high stress in my work since, he thought about it, well, since I went to grad school. He's stepping down when his term ends in January. Retirement, he told me, would be good for his health. As we chatted, though, I noted change in his countenance. In the past, his frustration with the Senate, with the Republican Party, with politics in general, had always seemed tinged with resignation. Maybe he was miserable, but he felt obligated to stay in Washington and do his part. Now, at 77, wow, he's 77, he couldn't wait to leave. He seemed lighter in a way, but also more restless. Mormon missionaries have a term for the feeling of distraction and homesickness that sometimes settles in as they approach the end of their service. Trunky. I asked if the term applied to him now, and he smirked, oh yeah. Oh yeah, there he is. Pierre Delecto. Romney had mentioned to me repeatedly in these brief exchanges over the preceding months that life in Congress was getting worse. Oh no. He wasn't alone in feeling this way. His planned departure was part of an unusually large wave of retirements from Congress in 2024. 52 as of May. That's because they're all like 85 years old. And the phenomenon had prompted much discussion about why lawmakers were rushing for the exits. I just told you why. It is the worst year of the 9 years and 3 months that I've been in Congress. Ken Buck, an outgoing Republican congressman from Colorado, told CNN. And having talked to former members, it's the worst year in 40, 50 years to be in Congress. See, they think it's the worst year, by the way, because well, it still is a whole corrupt mess. But they used to like it when everyone just went along to go. They don't like it when there's actual battles going on. Like when each side, there are people now in Washington like AOC, and then on the other side, I don't know, name whoever, Matt Gaetz, who are like committed to their cause, and they're not there to like make friends and go to the cocktail parties. These guys liked it back when it was like a big old boys club, and they were all just like clinking glasses every weekend after they pretended to fight with each other for a week. To illustrate this last point, he offered an example. Hold on, did I miss a part? No. To illustrate this last point, he offered an example. Last year, a bipartisan group of lawmakers had negotiated a bill aimed at restricting illegal immigration. It had been written at the behest of Republicans who said they would fund new Ukrainian military aid only if Congress also tackled the crisis at America's southern border. Then Trump came out against the immigration bill, having reportedly decided that the crisis at the border was good for his re-election prospects, and Republicans promptly fell in line. To Romney, it was clear that the priority for most of his colleagues was to do whatever their nominee wants, not to solve the problems they've been elected to solve. If Donald Trump says, hey, kill that immigration deal, they're going to kill the immigration deal. Yeah, listen, Mitt, okay? Do you guys remember that tweet that Trump had when he was like, Republicans don't know how to win? I will show them how. This is a perfect example. Like, why would you support the immigration bill when it can be an election issue? I don't know. Like, wouldn't you rather have Trump as president and then a Republican Congress than to sign this immigration bill and the Democrats get credit for it, win the election, and throw the borders back open once the election's done? That seems stupid to me, honestly. Seems dumb. But this is how they think. Romney told me he'd been invited to deliver a commencement speech and he'd planned to illustrate the cynical nature of politics today by talking about his childhood fascination with professional wrestling. As a kid, he'd been enthralled by theatrical rivalry between Dick the Bruiser, a muscle-bound former NFL player, and Haystacks Calhoun, a 600-pound... okay, look, honestly, I don't want to read the rest of this. This is just a stupid puff piece. Point is, these guys, they're just like, oh, we don't like it. It's too confrontational. You know, they're getting mad because Trump decided to play hardball with the immigration bill. This is why Republicans lose all the time. They don't know how to win. They don't know how to take advantage of situations. Like, yeah. You know what Harry Reid would have said to that? If Harry Reid were being interviewed right now and there were like something that Democrats did that was similar to this, he'd be like, yeah, we did that. And guess what? We got a Republican president. I remember him being asked about something. I can't remember what it was, but funny enough, it was in regard to the 2012 election. And Harry Reid said, yeah, we did that. Yeah, we played hardball. We played dirty, and we won. And I was like, man, respect. I don't agree with what you're doing, but look, they play to win. Republicans play to lose. And that's why the results are always as they are. But Trump is like the first one who plays to win. He's like the first one they've encountered who really plays to win. But anyway. So Pierre Delecto is retiring. So sad, I guess. But what's more sad is that the fact that I spent so much time defending him. I mean, seriously. Okay, let's read some of the comments, shall we? I'm trying to find the best way to do this. I guess I can just read them like this. Is this the best way? Okay. I posted a video today. Can you see these? I posted a video today about it was from last night's stream. Zelensky with the governor of Pennsylvania, Shapiro signing like artillery shells. So I posted a video today about that. So that got some. Let me blow these up a little more so you can see them. All right, this is from @Colby25. Trump says he wants peace, yet all his backers parrot Putin's state-funded propaganda. Also, please explain how it's Zelensky's war when it's his country being invaded. If I had the chance to sign a shell in support of democracy under threat, I would too. I would also sign it for the 500 plus Ukrainian kids that have been killed by Putin's military so far, with another 10K civilians killed overall from a UK conservative voter. That's true conservatism, not the far-right nationalism you and your type seem to be supporting in the States and Russia. This irritates me so much, and I'll tell you why. So this poster, UK conservative voter, says this is true conservatism, not what you guys support in the States. Yeah, well, guess who's paying for this Ukrainian war? Guess who's funding all this? I don't think it's you guys. Who the heck is your prime minister right now? Anyway, no one knows. Nobody cares. Because you guys don't do anything anymore. You don't fund anything. You don't fight anything. You don't do anything. Your economy sucks. I don't know what kind of military you have anymore. Everything there, you just pays attention. It's all having to do with the royal family. And you have the gall to tell America what America should be doing. Meanwhile, we fund it all. American taxpayers bankroll the whole military operation in Ukraine. And you tell me, oh, well, this is true conservatism. True conservatism is a Brit telling Americans they need to shell over money to give to Ukraine when they're struggling in their own country in the USA. Yeah, no. How about this? Here's a how about this? Fine. Ukrainian war, all good. But you guys have to pay for it. You guys pay 90% of it. Maybe we should check up on the NATO bills too. Yeah, exactly what S. Russell says. Delinquent on NATO. Everyone says Trump's ruining NATO. Meanwhile, you guys aren't even paying up. So, yeah, it's easy to support a war and sending artillery over there when you're not the one who has to foot the bill. Not the far right nationalism you and your type seem to be supporting in the States and Russia. Yeah, maybe if you had a little more far right nationalism, London wouldn't be such a freaking mess. All right. Oh, reel it in, Tyler. Reel it in. All right. There was my response. You see it. But thank you for the support. Thank you, Colby25. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the comment. But yeah, time for you guys to pay up. Reach into your wallets. Why is it always America doing all of it? America's like it's like the rich dad in a family who just pays for everything and never gets thanks. You know, it'd be one thing if like everyone said, "Well, thank you, America, for supporting all these dumb wars." But America doesn't even get that. They don't even get that. They get spit on for being like racist and nationalist and like, oh, you guys are too right wing. But by the way, can you send more artillery over to Ukraine? They need it. And yeah, just keep the money flowing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, America will keep growing. The U.S. will keep growing their economy. You guys can stay stagnant, and we'll keep growing our economy so billions can be spent all over the world on useless wars. This was on a post about the Teamsters not endorsing Kamala. This is good. They see common sense coming forward and voting for it. That's from Ed Millam, 2486. John Smith, DM8LY, says, no, the polls were accurate in 2022. They showed R plus 2.8 on RCP average, and R's won by 2.2%. The polling never suggested a red wave. It was just propaganda from right-wing news. Totally agree. If you watched Fox back in like 2021, all you heard was red wave, red wave, red wave. They thought the whole election would be about inflation. It wasn't about inflation. It was about abortion. So he's actually right, this guy. This was on my clip about Harry Enton talking about the possible election night polling errors. Manetho 72. You forgot that the Republicans won the overall popular vote in 2022. The results were about how the votes were distributed, among other factors. The polls were actually right in 2022 with the overall numbers. Yes, and I talked about this in the video. And then he says the polls showed R plus 2.8, and the result was R plus 2.2. They were accurate. But I told him, remember, it's Trump who they underpoll, not Republicans. So people say, well, what about 2022? They oversampled Republicans. Yeah. The point is they underestimate how Trump performs, not how Republicans perform. And Trump was not on the ballot in 2022. And I know they're going to say, well, he kind of was on the ballot. He endorsed all these candidates, but Trump was not on the ballot. So, Shy 8694 says, this isn't a midterm election. The poll missed this time will be worse than 2020. If you're paying close attention, you know why. And I said, so big win for Trump. He says, yes, I expect he'll win the popular vote by 1 to 2% and the Electoral College by about the same as 2016. So we have a good prediction. Kaiser Kaiser Fi says light mode on X needs to be made illegal. Yes, I know. I'm sorry. I should probably, especially when it's nighttime and I'm looking at it here. Let me just see if I can change this on my. Where do I go to do this? Isn't there a way where's like my settings on X? I don't even know. No, I'll figure it out later, but yeah, I agree with you. I probably shouldn't have it so bright. Chris Voza 9451. 1 second. Chris Voza 9451 says vote for Trump. MAGA needs support right now. Needs to support Trump right now. Stand with Trump. Fight back Democrats to win 2024. Okay. Thank you for that. My kids are super cute says 2020 was about way more than COVID. His misery index was 23, and there was massive social unrest within the BLM and women's movements. True, but I don't think that the reason he lost 2020 was because of BLM. If anything, I think BLM got Trump more support because of all the riots and all that. I think most Americans didn't like what was going on there. So, if anything, it was helping him that there were so many riots and like Wendy's was burning down and like Minneapolis was getting completely torched. And that wasn't the only city getting torched. So a lot of the social unrest probably helped him, actually, in my view. 2020 mostly was about COVID. Learn to Obey 198 says the polling data at this point isn't worth looking at. I'm pretty positive it's way off. What I'm looking at in the key swing states is voting by mail ballot requests, and that favors Democrats. But Republicans have gained in that as well. I think at this point, based off of the data we have Trump will be the data we have. Trump will be the 47th president. Yeah, and I didn't check it yet today. I said I would actually. The Pennsylvania registration numbers because they keep narrowing. I mean, the Republicans have basically cut the registration lead the Democrats had in half, thanks in large part to Scott Presler, who's done a fantastic job. Hamo Shitube says, no, Alan Lichtman said Kamala will win, and he's never been wrong. Yeah, okay. 9-inch Pincher says, it's actually intriguing how much vote by mail has decreased this time around. I was never expecting 2020 numbers, but for being 4 years further in the future, it's quite astonishing. Yeah, look, a lot of people voted by mail because they were scared to vote because they thought like they were going to catch COVID or something. So, Mark Chirelli says, I totally agree. Trump is a clear favorite. So, wow, this is facts. She 8694 says Lichtman is leftist. That will finally be exposed. Sam Jones J. Rindian says this Teamster is voting for Trump for the third time. Thank you for that. Mark Shirelli says, do not underestimate the Trump voter. The polls were wrong in 2016 and 2020. You mentioned 2022 red wave polling error. Trump was not on the ballot. Exactly. Thank you very much. Jamal Chrysler 12 says CNN is a liberal media. Polls such as CNN, NBC, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, RBS. Trump and Harris team have their own accurate polls, and Harris's team know that they are in trouble. That's why Kamala wanted another debate. That's exactly right. If you want to know what Kamala's internals are telling you, we already know what they're telling us because she wants another debate. She would not want another debate so badly if she didn't think she hit what she needed to hit in the first one. So the first one wasn't a failure for her, but it didn't get the job done. And so she wants another one. And in my mind, Trump should not do another one because he really has nothing to gain by doing another debate. You have because of me 666 subscribers. Well, I don't like that. Cabustamore 69420. I do not like that number, please. That's why I didn't touch that comment, didn't like it, nothing. I was happy to go straight to 667 and not even have to look at it. It went from 665 to 667. Perfectly happy with that. I do not like that number for obvious reasons. Cabustamore 69420 says, in the best Harris case, yes, I am going to post that, the best Harris case scenario. I will, to be fair. Mike Anderson says Virginia could go red too. It is close. It is close. I'm doing a lot of digging when it comes to Virginia because I'm very curious what's going on there. Apparently Glenn Youngkin's working hard to try and win it for them. It's going to take a lot, but I think it's still blue. I have it blue in my electoral college. I'll be releasing a new one soon. But even in my best case scenario for Trump, which the next comment is from, I don't have Virginia going for Trump. But that could change like everything else. There's been some polls showing Trump tied or within striking distance there. And it hasn't gone, Virginia has not gone red at the presidential level since 2004. So if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. Press the icon in the bottom right corner. I go live every night at usually about 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock. Zachary Walker says 4 laughing emojis. Thank you. Mark Williams, this guy is one of the few really intelligent millennials I've ever met and doesn't have his cell phone up his ass all the time. Well, I don't really know what that means, but thank you, Mark. Seems like it might be a bot. Your 32 maker says you're high. Okay, thank you. I do not smoke weed, and I will be voting again. No, and I'm not going to talk about the amendments here in Florida. Brennan Villine says this is a truly delusional opinion. I don't think some of the people caught that this was not how I thought the election was going to go. It was my best case scenario for Trump. Someone just says Dion. I have no idea what that means. Day Life Yona says, would you like to buy back your soul? My soul belongs to Jesus Christ, our King. I do not own my soul. Rory 442 says Trump is going to get crushed. I'm in a Trump says country. I think he meant to say county. I'm in a Trump county. He won in 2020. I see a lot of Harris signs. I don't think she will win the county, but it will be close. I asked them what state. Got no response. In my neighborhood, I'm seeing more Trump stuff. I've kept count, and I've seen 5 houses with either flags or signs, and one has a sign and a flag for Trump. And I have seen 3 Harris Waltz flags or signs. So it's 5-3 so far. I'm keeping track. I'm surprised I haven't seen more, but today I was driving down not a highway, but a main street down here, and there was a huge banner, like on an office, a huge red banner that just said MAGA Trump. So the Trumpers are not as shy as we used to be, I guess. More acceptable. I guess now that Elon Musk is like supporting Trump, people are like, okay, well, I guess so. This was all the here's some of the comments on my Taylor Swift one. Probably just me mentioning Taylor Swift right now has probably brought them all into the live stream. I automatically go to like 150 viewers. I'm a man. I think we don't hear about Taylor Swift enough. Well, wow. I mean, that's quite the opinion. You want to hear more about Taylor Swift? Well, maybe watch more NFL then. This was a hilarious comment. I think I read this on a previous stream. This one says, why are men, this is from S. Bashkatova. The first line of this completely slays me. Why are men feeling entitled to be tired of hearing about her? Why are men feeling entitled to be tired of hearing about her? Okay. She exists. It's possible to just turn one's head or switch the channel. I'll grant you Trump may be tapping into a cultural sentiment the same way that Harris did with Brat Summer, but honestly, the most mature way to not consume a product pushed on someone is not to consume that product. I find people who are bothered by how loudly another breathes to be immature and petty. So while Trump's reelection team may have intention behind the tweet, a regular mere mortal feeling bothered is a bit middle school. Like, no one is obligated. I love how she says, like, this is probably exactly how she would have said it. Like, no one is obligated to spin her records or turn on VNAs or pay attention to the 30 seconds of the game when her face is plastered on TV because NFL is probably paying Taylor Swift to raise female viewership. 30 seconds worth of TS exposure is literally 1 to 2 commercials length of time. Not a big deal. So I got like a whole 1,000-word lecture from her there. I just said great analysis. Thank you for your support. There is nothing hilarious about putting a bullseye on Taylor Swift or any other political opponent. This should not be taken lightly by you or anyone. Let me add that this comment came a day after the second attempt on Trump's life. So, and let me also be clear, I do not encourage violence. I was talking about a tweet that said, Trump said, I hate Taylor Swift. Okay, there's nothing there causing harm or any of that. It's total exaggeration. But I said I would read the comments. Usually I just ignore, but okay, I'm not going to read that one. Someone says Trump is hate. Okay. Gatya says it's so simple. Not my words, by the way. If you lie asymmetrically, you will be corrected asymmetrically. Maybe this wouldn't have felt like a 3 versus 1 talking about the debate. If Trump just, didn't lie every other time he opened his mouth. They're eating the cats and dogs. Bro, he is out of it. Wherever he is, it ain't here with us. I don't even know what to say to that one. Blazin' Azen says copium. Thank you. Canadian, I always think that says Canadian. CNDNS2. TV watchers have stopped watching David Muir and ABC. They're doomed. Putin, Visor, Rover, Watch. Putin needs better propagandists. Okay. I can tell you they're not paying me like they're paying Lauren Chen or whoever it is. Or what's that guy's name? The guy who does the, I can't remember. Were those 618 says, who cares what you think, dude? It wasn't sarcastic. It was Trump having a rare flirtation with the truth, only to have to walk it back as fast as he can by calling it sarcasm, the usual Trump BS. Okay. And some back and forth there. Blitz Me 99 says, you guys are coping because your savior isn't saving and the girls don't want to do any laying. My savior is Jesus Christ, Blitz Me. Go get blitzed. I don't know what that means. I think that means drunk. Revolver Ocelot 2008. That means drunk, by the way. Go get blitzed means go drink. Revolver Ocelot 2008 says no. They were insanely lenient on Trump. Almost every statement he made was a lie. This person's saying that the moderators were lenient on Trump. Okay. And yes, moderators and people behind the scenes should be doing fact checking. The ones behind the scenes would obviously put it in a ticker or a headline on screen live. I'm so tired of people talking about fact checking. It's just so the fact checking thing is sort of like the NPC comment I was talking about earlier, where like it's the thing everyone says now. They're like, you know what? I have a great idea. I think during the presidential debates, we should have a fact checker. So hear me out. We have both candidates, and whenever someone says something that's not true, they get fact checked right away on screen. It's like, guys, this is a political debate. It's a presidential debate. Politicians lie. Politicians exaggerate. It's like, haven't you ever watched a commercial in your life before? What do you want, a fact checker on a Colgate commercial? They say this is the #1 whitening toothpaste, and you say, well, actually, we're bringing in CNN fact checker Daniel Dale. Let's go to Daniel. He says actually it's the 4th most whitening toothpaste in the world, in the country. So what they're saying is a lie. They're saying it's the #1 whitening. It's like, no, guys, come on. Like, seriously. Trump says, oh, I had a crowd of 50,000. Well, no, it was 42,000. That's another lie. So annoying. Like, seriously. It's like the thing everyone says now. What we really need is someone to fact check the candidates. They lie too much. Like, why? Don't you know when they're lying? I know when they're lying. I know when they're exaggerating on both sides. Trump says something, I go, yeah, he's kind of exaggerating. He's kind of pushing it with that one. And then Kamala says something, it's like, yeah, Kamala, not quite. But do I really want someone to fact check Kamala on every single thing she says? I mean, she says, oh, Project 2025. Everyone knows Trump doesn't support Project 2025, but it's called politics. You're trying to tie him to 2025. That's the whole point. That's what you would do if you were on the Democrat side. So I'm tired of hearing about fact checkers. Fact check. We need someone to be making sure no one's telling any more lies. And it really, at its core, when people say that, it assumes that everyone is really, really dumb. Like, so really, in at its essence, it's an elitist comment to make, because it's them assuming that nobody can figure it out for themselves. Like, nobody knows when Trump says he has the largest crowd size ever, he's probably not telling the truth. No one can figure out that when he says they're eating the cats and they're eating the dogs, people are not going to go, well, that's, maybe there were some instances of that. It's exaggeration, it's hyperbole, it's advertising, it's marketing, it's politics. That's what it is. We don't need Daniel Dale there to tell us what's true and what's not. All I care about is directionally, what does the candidate stand for? What does it matter if a candidate goes up there and he supports what I support and wants to do what I want to do, but he lied 5 times? I don't care. I really don't care. And I don't think people do either. So it's just that people who talk about fact checking is just, yeah, there's going to be a ticker. There's going to be a little ticker down there, like a stock ticker. And who are we going to get to check these, to be these fact checkers? Oh, it's going to be liberals who CNN hired from Berkeley or from NYU. We're going to bring in tonight. We're going to have a debate hosted by David Muir, liberal, and co-hosted by Lindsay, whatever her name is, who was a sorority sister with Kamala Harris when they were in college together. Okay, welcome everybody. And one more addition to the program. We have 2 fact checkers. The first one is going to be Joy Behar. You may have remembered her from The View. And the second one is going to be Whoopi Goldberg, who is Joy Behar's co-host on The View, both scholars and political commentators and intellectuals in their own right. And they are going to tell us what was fact and what was fiction. Okay, let's go. Mr. Trump, the first question is for you. Why are you a piece of crap, and why are you going to destroy America? And then after that question, we'll go to Kamala and we'll say, same question to you, Kamala. Why is your opponent a piece of crap, and why does he want to destroy America? Okay, end of debate. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay. Sometimes I get a little carried away, but when I get on a roll, I get on a roll. I like, we got to clip that. Somebody clip that one. Lee Valencia 6968 says, yeah, why would Trump want the moderator to make him sound more reasonable than he actually was? What a jerk. Aerothepic says, that is not an accurate reflection of what most Americans think. 60% of the country thinks she won a very fair debate. Yeah, well, the polling isn't telling us that, Aerothepic, so take another look. User B says something. Funny winners never seem to need excuses. All right. Shamek02 says Trump did a terrible job and Harris cheated with her good friends at ABC. Overall, the debate was pretty meaningless. Nothing important was discussed. Yeah, I kind of agree. David Chapman, old David Chapman, our favorite guest, says, I said LBJ finished second in the 68 New Hampshire primary. He finished first, but as a write-in, not officially in the race. My apologies. Well, we'll try and forgive you for that one, David. But thank you. No, I'm kidding, of course. 444 official says I'm up to 620-ish and has taken. Oh, sorry, this is on my my advice about getting subscribers video. We won't read those ones. Okay, now we're getting back to all the way back to 2 weeks ago. My Kamala Harris versus Liz Cheney, kind of a joke electoral college prediction map. No chance in hell I would vote for a Cheney or a Bush, says someone. Mr. RMT 1986. Okay, I think we've gone back too far. Those are all the most recent comments. I think I've hit them all. So that's that. Let's go. Let's check the poly market odds. There was more good content from those comments than I thought there would be, actually. A lot of the comments spur me into a complete rant. 50 to 48 for Kamala, so not much has really changed in the betting odds. That's not really a surprise, honestly. I think that'll even out a little bit. What's Pennsylvania at? 52-48 for Kamala. Very, very tight election, folks. Very, very tight election. But okay, I think that'll do it for me. I've been going for about an hour or more. If anyone has anything else to say in the live chat, please do so now. Speak now or hold your peace until tomorrow night when I go live again at the same time, same place. I'm trying to think if I have any other parting remarks. S. Russell says, guy actually wrote a piece of literature. Yeah, I know. Can you imagine writing that long of a comment on a video like that? Seemed like it was probably a Swiftie. I don't know. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Please subscribe to my channel. Click the icon in the bottom right. I would much appreciate it, and I will pay you back for your efforts with great content from now until Election Day and beyond. I should probably change the icon in the right corner to my new one. And if you haven't noticed, I am now, for each stream, wearing the jacket, the suit jacket, like I used to in the old days. And I told you the reason for it is because I'm very troubled by when I go out into society, especially how men are dressed. It's just horrible. It's just raggedy t-shirts, sweatpants, and flip-flops. Flip-flops. I can't take it anymore. There's so many flip-flops. And I saw today that Patrick Bet David was selling flip-flops on his YouTube channel. He was selling slides. He was saying how the plastic or the rubber bubbles, they feel good on the bottom of his feet. So over. Like I said last night, we talk about all these macro problems, like, oh my gosh, inflation, like, oh, it's all true. Inflation, immigration, healthcare, whatever. Social Security going bankrupt. I mean, I think what we should really be worried about is people wearing flip-flops. I saw people wearing flip-flops. And this wasn't my church. It was another church. They were wearing flip-flops to church. Why? You're going to church. Now, I don't want to be, everyone accuses conservative people of like wanting to go back to the 50s or something. Oh, I'm not going to make a comment about that. But I'm not suggesting we all have to, women wearing a dress and the man walks in with a coat and a tie to church. You don't. Okay, that's fine. We don't have to do that. But could we at least put a little bit of effort into it? Like, I can't even imagine. Like, think about it. The respect, first of all, the respect for God is the first thing you're going into the house of God. Have some respect. Secondly, some respect for the pastor and for everyone else, the worship team or whoever else. Have some respect for them. Have some respect for the people around you. Can you imagine waking up in the morning, Sunday morning? Okay, let's go to church. What am I going to wear? Well, I think I'm going to wear my red pair of shorts that look like a bathing suit. I'm going to wear my like little thong flip flops and I'm going to wear a t-shirt or even worse, like a tank. I mean, what are we thinking? What could possibly be going through someone's mind? Now, look, it's hot in Florida, okay? It's really hot. But that's not an excuse either because inside the church, it's freezing cold. And I don't blame them for that because the church, it's a lot of people in there. It's hot outside. You got to keep people comfortable. But it's like, and look, I know come as you are, and you can't tell people, people are coming for spiritual fulfillment, not material. But I don't know. It's just something that grinds on me, and I look at people doing this, and I'm just like, what are you thinking? I would not. Some of the things people wear to serious events, I would not wear to Publix. I would not wear to the grocery store to pick up groceries. The other day, we were I was wearing like I guess like joggers, you could say, joggers and a t-shirt. And my girlfriend wanted to go to guess pick up some things at the grocery store. So I went and I changed into like a pair of jeans or something because I can't become the thing that I don't like. You guys ever looked at photos? I'm on a whole other rant now. You ever looked at a photo of um like downtown, like New York City, Manhattan, 1940? Let's see, I could probably find one here. Let's do that. Since the stream has completely gone off the rails. Let me I bet you I can find it. Wait, no, that's not what I want. Let's just see. Of course, now when I want to find that, I can't. Okay, let's just look at this, okay? Look, and by the way, I am not suggesting we go back to this, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Look at this. This is New York. This is New York City in the 1940s. This is Manhattan in the 1940s. Are you ready? Give me 1 second here. We've gone from political polling to a cultural show, which honestly I don't mind at all. Look at this. Look at this. Men, this is how men used to dress just walking the streets of New York. So we've gone from that to flip-flops, t-shirt, tank top. That's the thing that I really, and sometimes I see Dave Portnoy wearing a tank top and I'm like, dude, I mean, he's rich, he can do whatever he wants, I know. But that shouldn't matter. It really shouldn't matter with the but in my view, I know this is a very radical position I'm about to take, but the only time that you should, as a man, by the way, I'm not talking about women in flip flops. It's not so bad, women wearing flip flops, I guess. But if you are a man, the only time you should be wearing flip flops is when you're going on the beach. And even then, I would still prefer like I put on like a boat shoe or something like that, like a Sperry or something, and walk across the sand. Take it off when you get to when you go sit on your towel or whatever. Why you need to be in flip flops anyway? I just thought of something too. This is an iconic photograph of Nixon. This is Richard Nixon Now I know, and they're gonna say, "Well, what you want us to imitate Richard Nixon?" No, but this just illustrates the point. I'm not saying people should be dressing like this when they're walking on the beach, but this is just an example of of the radical end on the other side of the spectrum. Richard Nixon walking on the beach in a jacket and dress shoes and dress pants. S. Russell says the bar really just kept getting lower and lower. It's true. It's true. It's like, there used to be, and this is probably before my time, but the first time I ever saw something like this was in the movie As Good as It Gets. I don't know if anyone's heard of that movie, As Good as It Gets. It's with Jack Nicholson and Helen Hunt. And for whatever reason, when I was a kid, I would watch that movie over and over. I have no idea why. Um, but that was the first time because there's a scene there where they go to a restaurant and they have to wear a jacket in the restaurant. Like you have to wear a suit jacket in the restaurant. And I think they have them there for you. Like they will give you one. And I remember as a kid watching that and thinking like, what the heck is that all about? Why do they have to wear a jacket to go in the restaurant? And I thought that was kind of silly. And even in the years following, as I grew up, I was like, yeah, that's kind of dumb. Like, what do you have? In order to go into the restaurant, you need to wear a jacket? That seems crazy. But here's the thing, they were providing the jacket for you if you wanted, if you didn't bring one. So the point, it wasn't like an elitist thing. It wasn't like, well, you can only come in here if you can afford whatever, an Armani suit. No, it has nothing to do with that. And to be clear, this can be done on a low budget. By the way, you could buy something like this anywhere. But I'm not even saying people to wear this. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, please don't look like you're lounging around the house, even when you're going to do something simple, like pick something up at the grocery store. If you're going to the bank, I don't know whatever. It's mind boggling, and I think it got worse during COVID. Honestly, I think it got a lot worse during COVID because what was happening is people were just sitting at home all the time, and there was no reason for them to get dressed really because they weren't going to work. So now they weren't even getting dressed during the day. So there was really no reason anymore. I don't know what's going on with my hair here. There was really no reason anymore to get dressed in the first place. So it's not like they were dressed and then got changed into something else and had to go out. No, there people were just wearing, and myself included, wearing pajamas all day. But I remember during COVID, I also thought to myself at a certain point, I said, no, I need to get dressed. Like this is bad. Even walking around the house not dressed made me uneasy. Something about it made me feel like I wasn't. It's like I might as well not even woken up or something. But that's just me. I know I'm weird. I know I'm a total freakazoid. But serious, exactly right, S. Russell. The standards are like they've just gone down. Let me just see here. Manhattan, 1950s. I didn't really get the photo I wanted to. Does this work? Let me see here. Okay, this is, well, there's kind of birds in the way. Of course, New York City is birds in the way. Pigeons. Okay, well, you can kind of see it here. Mind you, this is in the wintertime. No, I want to get a better one. That's not a good enough one. I don't want one with pigeons in the way. I actually saw an article the other day. It was called "Why Men Stopped Wearing Hats." Like, remember back in the day when like everyone would be wearing a hat? Hmm. Usually I have no trouble finding photos like this, but okay, I guess here's an example. Hold on. So here's like kind of a good example. I don't know if you can see that or not. But see, this is just like, look, Fifth Avenue, 50th Street, 1950s Manhattan. This guy's wearing a suit. Women are all wearing like nice dresses. Every guy's wearing a suit. Every person looks good. Not a single person. You can't even see a single person who's not looking good. Poor, middle class, doesn't matter. Here's another one. This looks like it's like, I don't know, like a Sunday afternoon or something. All like kind of vendors and stuff. Look at women wearing nice hats. This guy is probably like looked down upon because he's dressed shabbily. He's wearing like a long sleeve polo tucked into slacks. They probably think he's a slob. Can you imagine? This guy walks down the street today, and then people think he's the best dressed guy on the whole block. This guy's wearing a hat. Women wearing dresses. This guy's wearing a suit. This is an older guy. He's been through it, so he's got an open collar and no tie. But I think you get the drift. I mean, here's another one. Let me see. Here's one. Look at this guy. Hat, suit, cigarette hanging out of his mouth. I'm not encouraging that. These guys are back from shore leave. Everyone looks good. Everyone's put together. And again, it's not a class statement, honestly, because people sometimes take it that way. They're like, oh, what you want everyone to dress like they're a millionaire? No, just don't dress like you're a vagrant. So yeah, we've come a long. It's been a long way down. Let me tell you, a long, long way. And the standards have completely plummeted. That's, by the way, why. Let's go back to Nixon. He's a good one to have just here. It's kind of why I've always liked Trump too. Trump is always in a suit because Trump comes from like that era. I've never really liked the politicians who are like, all right, they're at the town hall or something, and they've got the jacket on and like the dress shirt, open collar. And I'm like, do you guys mind if I take my shirt off or my jacket off? And they take it off and they're like rolling up their sleeves. Like now I'm the common man. Now I'm just like you. Like there's a lot of this energy in Tim Walz, by the way. Like I'm just like you. Look, I'm wearing a camo hat. The whole thing is a LARP. Seriously, it's a LARP. And I don't doubt that Tim Walz is from like whatever, the boonies. But like when you're playing it up, when you're running for president or vice president, here's the thing. If you're actually like that, that's fine. Like I'm not judgmental about it. Like a perfect example of that is you remember the show Duck Dynasty? Really solid Christian family, everything. They were all dressed in camo, right? They were dressed in camo all the time because they were like duck hunters. They lived in the woods. They're like literal rednecks. But there's no, it's not pretentious. It's like it's not a put on. That's really how they are. And but they're not running for president. They're not trying to, they're like, look, yeah, we're rednecks. we're dumb rednecks, and well, they're not actually dumb because they built like a huge company and whatnot. Um, but they're like, yeah, we're just like we're Christians. We believe in God. We're devout. We live in the woods. We like it that way. We're rednecks. We hunt ducks. That's what we do. So that's fine. But when you're running for president, you think there should be like a higher standard. It gets back to standards, like S. Russell says. It's really all about lowering standards. So like the more low standards are accepted, the lower the standards keep getting. Because let me give you an example. I know this is like crazy. People are like, "What the heck are you talking about?" But honestly, this is something I notice. It's like we have this attitude that like anything goes now. And that's like a true liberal attitude. Like I don't mean liberal as in like politically liberal, like wanting bigger government or anything like that. I mean like this like libertine attitude that anything is fine. There are no standards. There are no what's the word I'm looking for? There are no guardrails. There are no social mores. There's no culture. There's no, it's just whatever you want. You want to go to Walmart dressed in boxers and a tank top? Be my guest. You want to come in wearing whatever? You want to wear a suit? Fine. If you don't want to wear a suit, yeah, sure. Come in your boxers and your tank top. No problem. Anything goes. So it's really the the real cancer and the real problem is the anything goes mentality. And so when nobody stands up and says, wait a second, no, we're not going to accept that, it just keeps getting worse. And that's why when people talk about Karens, like, yeah, Karens, whatever, I understand the annoyance, but I actually think society needs Karens because the Karens are always the ones who are like, wait a second, no, we're not going to accept that. Like, I don't think this should be done. I don't think we should let things slide this much. And that's how this has all kind of happened is you give someone an inch, they take a mile, the old phrase. Well, if you give society an inch, they take miles and miles and miles and miles. So I know I've just ranted for 15 minutes about clothing, but I honestly I think it's like it's a real symptom. And I've been thinking about this stuff, and it's not just attire. It's like you go through a drive-through now. And by the way, I'm not complaining. I'm very appreciative. I love where I live. Very grateful. Um, but you notice things like you go through a drive-through and they're not polite. I mean, I'm telling you, I've been through drive-throughs multiple times. I've gone through a drive-through at a fast food place, and I know it's a fast food place, whatever. But it's like you go to McDonald's now, and you say your order, and you hear "huh" come back at you through the speaker, "huh." Or you'll say like, "Can I have this, and that?" Yeah, we don't have that. It's like, seriously? Can we maybe be a little more, can we have a higher standard? Just a little bit higher. We're not talking about like reaching for the stars here, just a basic politeness. Anyway, I'm sounding like just a cranky old man now, but I don't know. I feel like people see it. People do see it. But anyway, so that's to get back to the point from like half an hour ago. That's why I'm wearing the blazer again because I need to set some standard for the show. What am I going to do? Come on here and talk to you in a what am I going to do? Put on my Panther sweater every night and talk to you? No one's going to take me seriously. I'm building a channel from scratch here. Do you want me to come on looking like I was just playing touch football? No. I don't know where I got that from either, by the way, but so it starts with me. We got to set a higher standard. We should all be like Review Bra. You guys know who Review Bra is? Report of the week. Speaking of fast food, this stream is literally just me ranting about everything that pops into my mind. But Review Bra wears a suit everywhere, and I mean like an old-fashioned suit. I'm talking about like he wears like crazy collars. Let me bring him up. This is a crazy stream tonight. I don't know. My girlfriend says to me, how do you do an hour? You do 2 hours. Nothing's going on. How do you talk? Well, this is how. I don't know how I do it. I don't know. Look at this guy. This was in his younger days, though. This is like 5 years ago. Okay, I don't know who the other guy, but look, hold on. This is Review Bra. He does like reviews, fast food reviews. Millions of subscribers on YouTube, by the way. This is how he dresses. He doesn't just dress in a suit. He dresses in an old-fashioned suit, like a suit from like the 1950s, oversized, old school, baggy, boxy. And I'm like, you know what? Respect to you. Respect. Everyone, let's show some respect to Review Bra. He totally gets it. See some other photos of him. I want to find one where he's wearing that collar. Like the collar that flips up. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, here. Well, this isn't a great photo of him, but he's wearing this collar here. Oh, here we go. Here. This is he was doing his
Today's review is for the
I want that. He was doing his hate mail. I guess I can't show that one because it was like a CNN clip. Yes, here it is. This is the collar he's wearing. Look at this. This one here. This is a man who is setting the standard. We need a return to the Review Bra. Yeah, exactly. Just while eating fast food. Guy's eating like a Big Mac. He's eating a Dorito, whatever it's called, Crunch Wrap Supreme in this collar and tie and jacket. So Review Bra, he makes this look like a casual mess. He makes me look like I put no effort into my style today. So we can only look up to Review Bra and use him as an example, and we can aspire to be like him. None of us can really hit the mark. None of us can live up to the standard that he has set for the rest of us. But surely we can at least come halfway and not be wearing, even t-shirts. I'm wearing a t-shirt under this. I call me old-fashioned. I do not like to wear a t-shirt out. Sometimes I do. But you like going with the collar. I remember there were people used to come in my grad program. They'd come to class wearing like shorts and a t-shirt, and I'd be like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. That should be the title of this whole stream. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. I love that phrase because it's true. Because people will just say like, well, why can't I wear a t-shirt and shorts? This is a free country. This is America. I'm like, yeah, well, it doesn't look like America now. It looks like we're all appealing to the lowest common denominator now. We're all wearing like t-shirt, shorts, and slides. Professors wearing like a nice shirt and slacks and a jacket. Students are wearing t-shirt and shorts. Mind you, these are some of the smartest students, by the way. Don't get me wrong. I mean, these guys are way smarter than me in many respects. But this is the way they dress. It's just something I've noticed, and I think it also has to do with the climate. I'm aware it's a warm climate where I am. People tend to dress a little more casually, a little more cooler. But it's difficult when you live living in Florida. It's like you'd be surprised. You walk around. When I first moved here, I walk around college campus and everyone's wearing hoodies. Like they'd be wearing shorts, but then they'd be wearing a hoodie. And I was thinking, like, why is everyone wearing like warm sweaters? Well, I soon found out the reason, because once you go into the lecture hall, it's like 65 degrees in there. So they've decided they'd rather be hot outside than cold inside. So you really got to be strategic about how you dress when you live in a place like Florida, because the climate is so polarizing. Like you're outside and it's like 120 degrees and you're sweating, and then you get inside and you're like soaked and it's freezing. So it's like, what would you rather have? So you got to kind of find the common ground. I've found when you go to like a church or you need to dress up a little bit, this is perfect, because like the jacket is always, it's cool to me, cool in temperature. I mean, inside, like I'm never really hot in it, and it's not like I have to wear a sweater either. So I've always liked it. I've always liked this. It's very chill. It's very, it's fine. It's all good. I like it. I'll be worrying on the show. I'm sorry for ranting for that long about that, but I think that's probably going to do it for me tonight. Let me just check in and see what's going on X. I tend to get a lot of viewers on X. It says 40 right now. 40, and then we got four on YouTube. We got to get the YouTube numbers up. If you're watching, please subscribe. Click the button in the right-hand corner. I will be going live every night, or trying to, every weeknight at 9:30, and trying to make it more consistent. We'll look at polling. We'll look at stories from the day. And then maybe I'll just go on a rant about people wearing shorts and flip-flops for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe an hour. Who really knows? Sometimes you catch me and I just go off. I don't think S. Russell minds that he stayed, so he seems to enjoy. I don't know where who's the other guy who always comes in here? We've got two regulars. The show is in its infancy, so we're still building. We're building the audience base. We got S. Russell, and we got who's the other guy? Check it out. Yeah, Check It Out's always here. I don't know if he's here tonight. He always comes in late. But I don't know. Like, are you guys in cahoots? Like, are you brothers? Like, do you live together or something? But yeah, I've been surprised how good X has been. X has been great for viewership. YouTube's tough, but YouTube is it's always tough. Like you can have like 10,000 subscribers. You go live, you only get like 50 people watching. So, but of course, it fluctuates based on like the night and what have you. When I was streaming the when I did the David Chapman interview, at one point we had like 200 people, on both. I mean, on X and on YouTube. If you're watching on X, by the way, subscribe, follow me on X, Florida Millennial. We're at 644 now. If there really is 40 people watching, because who knows, it might be bots. People say they're bots. But if there really are 40 people watching on X, subscribe, and we'll see how far up we go from 644. Or follow, I should say. And that's about it. That's about it for tonight. That's all I've got. Slow news night. Which honestly isn't a bad thing, because sometimes slow news is better. But I make with lemons, I make lemonade. Slow news night, I just rant about how people dress horribly for literally an hour. Like, just a total total go off moment. But I'm exhausted. I need to drink some water and eat something and sleep. So thank you, everybody. Thank you to our regulars. Of course, thank you to S. Russell, who really just like puts the show on his back and goes into the comments, the live chat. One day, S. Russell, you will be drowned out. So enjoy this, because this is the only time when you're going to have the entire chat to yourself. And I literally read everything you post. It's like you're my my co-host, basically. But thank you, everybody, for watching. Pretty soon it'll just be, I won't even see you on there. There'll be so many comments. I'm speaking it into existence. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you to those who have subscribed. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for those who comment, even the ones who comment negative stuff. I really appreciate you. I mean, really, because you're boosting my engagement. And we like to have negative comments, because I come on here, I read them. Maybe I get on a roll talking about something like I did the NATO. And it's all good. If you're watching on X, once again, please subscribe. Please follow me on X. Florida Millennial. You're already watching on X. Just click the follow button. Subscribe to me on YouTube, Florida Millennial, at Florida Millennial. And that's all. Tomorrow night, I'll be back tomorrow night, hopefully around the same time. I'm going to try and discuss more about what's going on in the Middle East tomorrow. It just involves me being a little more prepared. I can't just go off on that like I can other topics, but it's worth noting that there's the conflict in the Middle East really is heating up. And then we always have polling data, and we always have polling market odds and all that stuff. We didn't look at Nate Silver's polling tonight because I honestly just wasn't in the mood to look at polling tonight. But there are some polling that's been pretty good for Trump, so we might talk about that tomorrow night to a larger extent and more in depth. S. Russell says, just remember me. Of course, we will remember the originals. Maybe we'll make you a mod or something. All right. Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow night. Good night. God bless.